Hello everyone, this is Aaron Johnson with the Johnson iRacing team. In our video this week, I thought I'd walk you through the iRacing website and show you how the iRacing web interface works. Now they're working on a beta user interface, and we'll go over that in another post, another video later on. But for today, what I thought I'd do is I'd take you to the iRacing website, which is iracing.com, and walk you through some of the features at iRacing. So if you're not an iRacing member, now's a good time to sign up. Memberships are half off. If you want to sign up for an iRacing membership, you just go to sign up and then decide the 50% off membership that you want to use. I signed up for 1 year for $55. That's about the price of a new Xbox or PS4 game. And for that 50% off, that $55, you can race as many times as you want, as often as you want, as long as your internet connection is up, and as long as the iRacing servers aren't under maintenance, which in the 45 or so days that I've been on iRacing has happened exactly once, that I've got on and not been able to immediately go drive. You basically click the sign up now button and then just follow the instructions. It's going to ask you for a payment method, and as you move forward, it's eventually going to give you an opportunity to put in an email address for the person that may have recommended iRacing to you. So if you've decided to go iRacing because of these videos, put in my email address, that is awj@aipg.org, and iRacing will give me a little payback for helping steer you to their site. Okay. Now, if you're not an iRacing, if you are an iRacing member and you just want to sign in, you click the sign in button. Sign in looks like this. It's going to be your email address, the password that you've chosen. I make it a point to never enable auto login. That's just the way I prefer to do things. And once you've logged in, you're going to get to see the user interface, which is going to look something like this. Now, I was on a profile page, so I'm going to go back to the home page. So this is what would actually get pulled up for you. The important things to know here are that, one, the important information is in the middle, right? All this stuff that's in the center. On each side out here are advertisements. The left side here are advertisements from Max Benecke, who's a fantastic iRacer. I know a couple of people that have used some setups from Max Benecke, and they get you to a competitive speed pretty quickly if you've got a little skill and you're able to do a little adjustment of your driving style or adjust the line that you're taking. So Benecke's setups are pretty good. Over here on the right side today is a new car that's being advertised from iRacing for you to purchase. But in any case, the important stuff's here in the middle. Now, the thing to know is that when you buy an iRacing membership, if you buy a subscription to iRacing, you get a certain number of cars and a certain number of tracks. And those cars and tracks come with the program. It's somewhere around 11, 12, 13 cars, depending on whether or not you've got a code that's going to give you a better deal, and then enough tracks that you can race in several different officially sanctioned events. All right. Now, if you're interested in going to actually just test drive a car, you can do that from this interface. You can find all your own statistics from this interface. You can search for races or leagues from this interface. You can actually search for other drivers. If you know someone who's iRacing, you want to find them and become friends with them so that you can interact with them more readily, maybe ask them for advice or help, or give them advice or help if they're struggling on a particular track. So up here at the top, these 4 blocks show your iRating licenses for each of the 4 different iRacing, I think of them as styles, but really they're different types of competitions. So top left is your Road Oval license. Right now I'm a Class D license with the Road Oval. 2.86 is my safety rating, and 1597 is my iRating. But 2.86 isn't technically my safety rating, but it's a reflection of how clean a driver I am. Bottom left is paved road racing. Top right is dirt ovals. Bottom right is dirt road racing. This line of the interface is the interface that you use if you want to go drive a car on a track. You have 2 options here. You can test drive or you can race now. So the test drive interface looks like this. This is for testing. It's in orange. You can select the car you want to test drive from a drop-down menu. Every car that you own is going to show up in this list, right? A few things to keep in mind. One, the Legends Ford Coupe and the Dirt Legends Ford Coupe are different cars, okay? Same with the Street Stock and the Dirt Street Stock. So any car you want to test drive, you can pick from this list. As you can see right now, I own 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16 different cars. I could choose to go practice in the, well, you know what, let's pick the 34 Ford Coupe. The reason we'll pick it, it's one of my favorite things to drive. Here you can pick the track. Again, this is any track that you own, and those tracks may have several different configurations. So if we pick Charlotte, we'll notice here that we've got a chance to configure Charlotte. We can go race on the Roval. We can race on the Oval configuration from 2018. We can race on the Legends Oval, which is the little short Legends tracks in the middle. Or then we could race on the Legends road courses if we wanted to race at Charlotte. Similarly, we could pick USA International, which is one of my favorite tracks. We could pick asphalt or dirt, even though USA International was never dirt. The wizards at iRacing are able to configure it in such a way that if you want to go dirt racing at USA International, you can. Once you've decided you want to test the car, just click the test car on track button, and off you go. If you want to race, it's a slightly different setup. So you click the Race Now button, you'll see this in green, and in green, that lets you know that you're on the racing screen. Now here, if you go to the pull-down menu, the first thing you'll notice is eligible series. Now, these are series that you're eligible to race in based on the license class that you possess, and if necessary, the safety rating that you possess. So I can race in Carburetor Cup, the Street Stock Series, where I've been racing fairly regularly, the Advanced Legends Cup, and then because I have a Class D license, I have a few more options: the Menard Series, the Late Model Tour, even the Modified Series. Just because I'm eligible doesn't mean that I own everything that's necessary to race. So that if you select a series for which you're eligible, like the Legends Cup, or sorry, not the Legends Cup, the Menard Series, you may find that a purchase is required. For me, I don't own the ARCA car, so I can't go racing the Menard Series unless I buy the ARCA car. That's $12. I think I'd rather wait. So I'm probably not going to worry about buying a car to go racing in the ARCA Menard Series as yet. So I'm going to just go back here to the Advanced Legends Cup, and we'll talk through some of the other options that we have. So when you're on the racing screen, you'll see up here at the top right these 4 push-down buttons, right? Practice, TT is time trial, QAL is qualify, and race is self-explanatory. That's if you want to go racing. So each of these buttons gets you to a different type of event. If you push on the practice button, it's a sanctioned practice. It's a practice where you can race against other drivers racing the same car for the same series. Now, the Legends Cup is fully adjustable. You can run your own setup. If we were running in the Street Stock Series, we'd be racing a car that is identical. Everybody races exactly the same car, same springs, same shocks, same tire pressures, same cross weight, same shock heights. Everything's identical. So this is the equivalent, if you're a fan of NASCAR racing or a fan of the International Race of Champions, this is IROC. Everybody drives a car that's identically prepared on the same track under the same weather. So it's really about the person who, or the driver who gets through the track the fastest being the one that runs up front. So you click the practice button, it's going to show you the eligible practices. This number is the number of minutes remaining. So 14 minutes remain in this practice that's being hosted over in France. This number is the number of participants out of 54 that have been or are on the racetrack at this point in time. So 5 out of 54 for practice number 1, and then 0s for practice 2 and practice 3. If you want to join a practice, you just click on the practice you want to join, and iRacing is going to take you to another screen. Right, and that screen, they're going to prepare the session for you. That takes a little bit of time. And once the session's prepared, you're going to get a green join button, and you're going to click the join button, and that's going to take you to the session. Now, the web interface is what loads what you use to make your decisions, but the actual race or practice is hosted on an iRacing server with data that's drawn from your computer. So your computer talks back and forth to the iRacing server. Your computer actually opens up the racing window, but you're running on an external server, if that makes any sense, so that everyone is on the same server at the same time. I'm not going to join the session here. I'm going to go ahead and hit the withdraw button for now. But what we would see if we got in was a chance to race against to practice with other racers running at full speed. Okay, so this is with the same setup that you have. Time trial is just what it sounds like. It's a chance to go in by yourself under race conditions and run hard laps trying to set the lowest lap times that you possibly can. Now in the Rookie Street Stock Series, a time trial, you have to run 10 clean laps. And clean laps means you can't touch anything. You can't brush the wall, you can't go off the track, you can't spin out, you can't have any mistakes. So you got to run 10 consecutive clean laps to get a time trial score. Okay, and then that time trial score is part of the competition that you'll be able to participate in any particular series. So in the Fanatec Street Stock Series, the time trial sessions, you can go to stats and you can take a look at how folks are doing in their time trials. To do that, you come down here to your results. The right-hand side are time trial results. If we take a look at the results, right now for this track, which is Lanier National Speedway, I've got the second best time trial results. I will tell you right now that not Lanier National, it's USA National. 22:18 is a spectacular number. Lewis Seaman, I don't know Lewis, but man, what a job he did to run 10 consecutive laps and average 22:8. You can time trial in any individual week, and you also get a score for the season. And in the season time trial then, what that does is it adds up your finishes in each weekly time trial session. So we're 6 weeks in. Right now I'm leading, and I'm leading because I like to time trial. It helps me learn to be consistent, and one of the keys, as any of you that are race fans know, one of the keys to being fast is being consistent. So that's why I run time trials. So qualifying events are not available with the Fanatec Rookie Street Stock Series. You don't really get the opportunity to qualify, so we don't worry about it. And then race sessions look like this. And the upcoming race section is highlighted. It starts at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 17 a.m. or 17 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. So for me, that's in about 25 minutes. It's about 10:35 in the morning here. And if I wanted to enter this, I could. Here's the rub. If I click this button, I will have entered the race. And once I click that button, there is no going back. If you decide that you don't want to race and you withdraw, you finish last. If you get to the racetrack and you start practicing and the UPS guy comes to the door and you have to get out, you finish last. If you get disconnected from the internet because you're on rural internet like I am in Colorado and you get disconnected, you finish, well, last or wherever you would have finished based on the number of laps you've completed. So clicking that button means that you're committed. You get a practice session. You click that button, you'll be able to join practice. You can practice until just about race time. When race time starts, the next session, what you'll see is you'll be directed elsewhere. So we're going to go through the race process at some point here. We'll have a video showing how this works. But right now I just want to show you the interface. Right? So then you can go racing here from this interface as well. These other buttons are fairly self-explanatory. The official race buttons, they give you a chance to see your guide, see series that are currently available. You can watch other races, so you get the option of picking races, but you can only watch races for which you're available or you're eligible to race. So I'm not eligible right now to race in the Carburetor Cup because I don't own the right tracks. But I could watch the next street stock race if I wanted. Right now they're practicing, and we could go watch practice if we wanted to. We could watch the iRacing practices as well. We can actually watch the races if we like because we're eligible to do some racing. Same with the Pickup Cup. So anything in green is something that we could go spectate if we wanted to. Okay. You can always pull up a schedule from iRacing. They tell you the schedule that's coming up, or you can do a search. It's possible to host a race. We'll talk about that later. Often hosted races are password protected, so you can't just go race with anybody anytime without their permission. There's the option to have iRacing leagues. Certainly you can have a team. We do have a team, of course, the Johnson iRacing team, which is by invitation only. But we're certainly happy for some of our Johnson family members if they want to be part of the Johnson iRacing team. All you need to do is send me an email and give me your username, and I'll look you up and invite you to come on in. Time Attack, we can talk about later. That's another competition series. You can go to the store and buy cards, and then your account, right? So this is typical, your account, your profile, the races you've been in, racers you're friends with, the things that you own, etc. So we can go to my profile. I'll show you my profile on iRacing. This is where you can find all of the relevant information for you and your personal stats. If you want to have a biography, you put it in here. If you want to have a profile picture, you can upload one. That's my 62 Mercury Comet that I've uploaded. If you come on down, it shows your iRating over time. iRating is basically how competitive you are. We'll talk about that in another post. Your TT rating is your time trial rating. That says how good you are at time trialing. And then your license class shows what class of license you possess and how highly you're rated inside that license class. So I got up to Class D fairly quickly, and I haven't worried too much about going up to Class C. I've worried about getting class time. Your career stats are shown here. So in the, I guess, how long has it been? I joined on June 9th. So in the month and a half that I've been iRacing, I've run 178 races. I've won 26 with 61 top fives. You can follow that across. It gives you your average incidents per race. We'll talk about incidents in another post, in another video. Winning percentage, top 5 percentage, and then the number of laps that you lead. All right. It'll also give you the information from your last 10 races. It'll tell you where you were, who the winner was, starting position, finishing position, the number of incidents you had, and then how many points you earned toward the championship in a particular iRacing series. This last number is the strength of field. The higher the strength of field number, the more competitive, basically the more talented the folks that you're racing against may be. All right. Go down to the bottom here. It'll show where you are in the series, what position you are, and again, give you stats for the individual series. So I do a little better in Legends Cup, where I start 7th and finish 6th, than I do in the Street Stock Series, where I tend to start 10th and finish 11th. And down at the very bottom, you can get all your personal bests. Those times will be listed. We'll just pick the 34 Ford Coupe. So these are official times that you've put up in official practice or race or time trial events. Okay. What's left? Not much. There are a lot of FAQs. I encourage you to go read them. They do have some pretty good how-to videos. They may be better than my how-to videos, but I kind of like hearing from someone that races this rather than hearing from the folks that run it. There's a forum that you can go to, and then there are a series of settings over here that you can choose to determine, do you want to let people friend request you, right? If you turn that on, nobody can send you a request. If you're racing and you want a spotter, if you turn this on, anybody who wants to spot for you can, if you let them. Anybody can be your spotter, or you can say only friends can be. Right? So you have some options there as well. What else do you need to know? Well, let's go back to the home page very quickly. We'll show you 2 other things, and we'll be done. The first thing is making sure iRacing's up to date. If iRacing's not up to date when you log in, this is going to be red. And when it's red, iRacing is not going to let you do anything until you download the things that are necessary for you to go racing. Okay. The second thing to show you is all the way down here at the very bottom. Sorry, not at the very bottom. It's the list of different iRacing news items that come up. You may want to read through these simply because it gives you an insight into what the very best iRacers are doing, like the eNASCAR iRacing, and can also then give you links to some new content that's going to be coming up. And you may then find that this is something, if you're a dirt person and you've heard of this track and it's something you've always wanted to race on, you can download that track and have it available for you to go race. Okay, that's about it for the user interface. We'll do some more in-depth discussion of what a racing weekend in a particular class or a racing event in a particular class might look like. We'll step into a practice at some point, and I'll show you kind of what I do when I practice and how I do it, and I'll try to narrate you through that. We'll record a time trial event, also with voiceover, and then eventually we'll kind of step through a racing event and show how that works. I know this has been a long video, about 20 minutes. I hope it's not too long for you to watch. If it is, I apologize. We'll keep trying to get better. Thanks. If you like our video, give us a like and subscribe to our channel.